Well, I'm pleased to say with me now is the AFC Wimbledon manager Johnnie Jackson and skipper Jake Reeves. Johnny, you said about making it fun and embracing the situation before Grimsby. That's still the case?
Yeah, definitely. We have to enjoy this. I just said to the lads at the start of last week that the club hasn't been in this position for a long time, and this is why we play football. This is why I got into coaching and managing, to be involved in situations, big games like this, like last week was, and it's important that you remember to enjoy it, because it can pass you by quickly, and you can put so much pressure on yourself as players and coaches that you forget this is what you love doing. So we made training a lot of fun last week, put a lot of competition on it, and I think the lads really embraced that, and we obviously got the rewards on Saturday.
Jake, I mean, I know the fan base at the moment are tense, they're excited about the situation. Give me some examples of how you kind of make it fun in this situation to break it up.
As Gaffer said, you kind of take the onus as a coach and staff to make it fun in training, so that'll be different drills, different games, like Gaffer said, making it competitive, not so much on the tactical side of things, and yeah, take the pressure away.
Gaffer, you said you thought it would be fiercely competitive over the two legs. You don't kind of feel it would be a bit like chess, like a bit cautious for the first one?
Yeah, but even if it is like that, that's still fiercely competitive. Just when I say that, I don't necessarily mean like blood thunder tackles, which I think there'll be all of that, but it'll be two teams that are set up to obviously try and hurt each other. But you know, we've had two tight games with them, and we've got contrasting styles, and I think it will make for an interesting game. But you know, they've probably had the better side of it attacking wise. We've got the best defence in the league, so that says a little bit about both teams. But you know, we know that we can hurt them too, and if you look over the two games, we obviously score more goals than them. So listen, I think these two games will be different. You know, I came away from that away game thinking that we should have got something. We played really well at home, but you know, they have players missing, and so did we when we went there. So it's going to be two standalone, very, very different games.
Skipper, you know the fan base there, the Magpie supporters as they are. How do you go about silencing them?
Well, you've obviously got to start well. You've got to try and take away their game from them in the first 20 minutes. Like you said, it's going to be edgy. You've got to keep it tight. They obviously like to play quite a free-flowing, open game. So for us, it's just about doing more of what we've been good at over the course of the season, trying to silence them as early as possible, really.
It is about us, Johnny, of course, as well. I mean, the fact that, you know, they've got the danger men, Yatta, McGoldrick as well. But I mean, what they didn't have last time was Jody Jones. So they've got players that can hurt you.
Yeah, of course they have. That's why they finished where they did in the league, because they're a good side. But so are we. You know, we managed to finish fifth in the end and climb above them on the last day. Not that means anything, but I think it just shows that we're both really good teams, and we're here because we deserve to be here. So yes, they've got threats. You know, McGoldrick's obviously been there, done it. So has Jones. They'll be looking at our team too, and they'll be worried about, you know, some of our players, all of our players. So they'll know that they have to be at their best as well. So it's not, you know, obviously we'll do the work on them and we'll put a little bit of focus, but we'll be focusing mainly on ourselves and what we can do, because we feel like if we turn up and we're bang at it in any game of football against anyone in this division, that we're more than capable of winning.
Jake, age is nothing at this level, is it? I mean, they're talking about McGoldrick there. Your old midfield partner, Danny Bullman. Good days, remember playing alongside him in the playoff final?
Yeah, of course. I think Danny played on till he was about 42, didn't he? Still in League Two. So look, I've watched some of their games as well when it's been on TV and stuff like that, and we've not played. And you know, a lot of what they do good funnels through him. So as you said, it's not about the age; it's about the application.
What about the goals, though? I mean, for yourself personally, you're eager to add more to the tally before the end of the season, or you don't care where they come from as long as they come?
No, I'm not bothered where they come from. Depends on what role you got in the team, really. Like we play in a certain style. I don't think there's many teams where you see the sitter sort of maraudering forward and getting in the box too many times, because that'll leave you obviously short on the counter and stuff like that. So yeah, it's about just us playing how we play, and we've got goals all over the pitch. So I don't really care where they come from.
Gaffer, you signalled out the win against Notts County as one of the best performances at Plough Lane this season, and the goals that day, they did come from players who weren't forwards.
Smush scored a banger, didn't he? Yeah, and obviously, you know, he's playing in a role in the team where obviously Skip plays a little bit deeper normally, and Smudge has got a little bit more licence to go and get in the box, and that's what I want from the midfielders. Like around that time we had a big meeting with not everyone, the forwards and the midfield players, about trying to add more goals from elsewhere, and I think Smudge was definitely one after that time who embraced that and had a little bit more licence to go and get forward, get in the box, and hopefully score goals, because I saw that when I was obviously looking at him before we brought him in. That was one of his big attributes, and he's managed to add the goals later on in the season as well.
And Lucy as well, I mean, cracking header from him.
Yeah, so Joe got the other one, I forgot that as well. It's been in so many games this season. And again, another thing that you have to spread the goals around. Obviously Matty's been the main goal scorer this season, but midfielders have to chip in, wing backs have to chip in, and centre halves have to chip in, from set pieces. So saw Hutch coming up with a winner on Saturday from a set piece. I don't think we've had enough of that this season. So whenever we get one of them, and when it's a difference maker as well in a game like that, I think that's really important, because he'll tell you about the team that he played in that got promoted out this league, Stevenage, a couple of seasons ago. I think that was probably the difference for them, that every time they got a set piece or a corner, they fancied that they'd score a goal. And if you can have that threat as well as others, strikers and wingers and midfielders scoring goals, then you become a really complete team.
What about the other end of the pitch as well, though? Because Ashley Bays enhanced both goalkeepers, the first choices in this game. Alex Bass and Owen Goodman, and I suppose can it be an advantage for us as well that we know so much about Bass?
Not really. I think he's just a top keeper, isn't he, at the level? Like, we know all about him, but you'd rather he weren't playing, to be honest. So it's not really an advantage that he is, but he's a top keeper. But so is Owen, and Bezos obviously done great work with them. But listen, Owen's playing behind the best defence in the league as well, by a long way, by the way. I think we conceded 10 goals less than anyone else in the end. So that's a feat, and obviously Owen plays a massive part in that. With the work that he's done with Bezo, but we pride ourselves on, I always say to you, that's when we get a clean sheet, that's for the team, that's not just for the keeper or the defenders, because we certainly defend from the front, and the strikers start it off, the midfield boys back it up, and then the defenders and the keeper there, are normally the ones that at the end that keep it out of the net. So we pride ourselves on that defensive record as a team.
How are we shaping up? What's the all-important team news for this one?
No, good. Listen, finally we went into the last game of the season pretty much having everyone available, which was quite ironic really, that we had to wait until that game where we felt we had a clean bill of health. Obviously Skip had missed the previous games with suspension. He was back for that one, so great to have him back. Brownie was back, Miles Hippolyte. These boys have missed a lot of football. You forget that Skip missed a big chunk of the season as well. Joe Lewis did. So I feel like we've had to do it the hard way. I'm sure every manager would sit here and say that, but I think we've definitely had to do it the tough way and grind it out at times and become a different team at times, depending on who we got available. But we find ourselves where we are in the sort of the thick of it now, and pretty much with a full squad to choose from. So that's a good position to be in.
And in terms of where we're at now, 2016 compared to now, what's the atmosphere like? What it was like then, what it is to now, and how much has Jake Reeves changed since then?
First off, on the two teams, just very different teams really. 2016 we had a lot of probably more senior lads involved in that had been there and done it. So, and equally they were quite loud, quite very, very loud group, shall I say. Our group's a little bit different. We're a little bit more chilled out and a little bit more relaxed. So that's probably the difference. I've probably chilled out a little bit more as well, as you're asking about myself. Take on more of obviously a leadership role within that, and try and give the boys as much advice, obviously being there and done that before. So yeah, a lot of change. We
spoke about Danny Bullman as well there. As you kind of see that role, a bit of the elder statesman of the team now in midfield?
Yeah, basically I was obviously I was young, playing with Bully, and Bully was obviously the old one who'd been there and done it, and obviously now I get to flip that around, and I'm sort of the older one. Not too old, by the way, Rob. Let's not start putting that out there. Not too old, but certainly experience-wise, yeah, there to help everyone.
Just finally, Johnny, realistically, what do we want to see ourselves coming away with from Meadow Lane? What's the ideal situation, if possible?
Well, win, obviously. That would be the ideal situation. We want to come back to Plough Lane with our destiny in our hands. But if you can go there and get an advantage from that first leg, obviously that gives you, a massive leg up in that home game. It's nice to have the second leg at home in front of our own fans, knowing what we need to do. But the first and second legs are, got different feels about them because the second one becomes a bit of a shootout. So it's important that we set up going away from home with a mindset that to be hard to beat, but obviously we're going there to try and win. And I said that's about the Grimsby one, even though that we only needed a point, we went there to win that game, knowing that you have to defend and you're going to come under pressure. So that's fine. You have to suffer in moments, like we did first half a bit in Grimsby, and then you go and take the game away from them, and we'll be trying to do that in that first second. We can come away with a win. It'd be brilliant.
We saw the difference that the travelling fans made at Grimsby as well. I mean, we try and cram in as many more as we could possibly at Meadow Lane, but it only permits so many. They'll make a big difference again, won't they?
Yeah, of course they will, and we're going to need them because we're going to go into a big atmosphere here. We've both played there. We both know what it can be like when it gets going, and it can be a really good atmosphere. So it'll be, I'm sure it'll be full. They'll bring a massive crowd, and it's important that we do too. But I know we will, and the way that we've been supported. Saturday was brilliant, seeing that many Dons fans up there at Grimsby, and I think it definitely helped, especially going towards them in that second half. They really helped, and to score that end was great for us, for the players to have that moment with them, and the celebrations at the end. So we need more of that.
Could you sense that as well out there, Jake, during the game from the fans?
Yeah, 100%. It's not just in that game, it's every away game that you're playing, especially when you're, as Gaffer touched on, when you're playing in stadiums where they've got a really big following and they can be really loud and quite daunting, especially when they get their game going. Like you said earlier on in the interview, it's about trying to hush them up a little bit and obviously give our fans a voice. So yeah.
Johnny, Jake, best of luck.
Cheers, Rob.